Hello, everybody, and welcome to another Cheers to 10-Year interview. Here I am with Reytheda, 17 Hats member and 17 Hats ambassador, who has been with us for this full 10 years, and she is coming to shine her light and give you all some great advice on what it takes to be in business and be successful all these 10 years and beyond. So, Reytheda, thank you so much for being here with us. Let's start by giving us just a little bit about you, who you are, what you do, where you're from.
Thank you for having me so much. I'm so excited to be a part of this. 17 Hats has been such a big part of my journey in this industry. First of all, like she said, I'm Reytheda Jackson. I am a wedding and events planner based in the Dallas-Fort Worth area. I am well immersed in the local wedding industry there, and I really love the people and love what I do. I have been blessed to plan events and weddings all over the world. It's been a lot of fun. I also have organized an organization locally called the Chic Network, which is wedding and event professionals. And we have been, January will be 10 years for us as well. So I am excited to be a part of this. I love weddings, I love events, and I love celebrations.
I love that. Of course, celebrations is always a good thing. Let's talk about a little bit about, I'm going to dive into celebrations right now because I feel like that's something we don't do enough. We do not celebrate our wins enough.
No, not at all. We don't. 2 years ago or so, I looked back and I realized I was like, you look at just going through kind of updating, doing some social media stuff, I realized I've done a lot. Like, you look at your own portfolio and you're like, I did that. I should celebrate me. That was hard. It was great. I think we should. I think we spend our time, a lot of us are in this industry because we're caregivers and we are people who understand what other people need more so than they may understand themselves. So we get in the habit of, I can create something great for you, but when it comes to me, it's like, no, we do not do it enough, and we should, because we work hard.
Yeah, we don't prioritize ourselves enough. I remember when I just back in photography, I did great photographs of everybody else, but when it came to my own, it was hard. Like you didn't make time for it. So that, we just don't. What are some ways that you celebrate yourself? Do you have any ways? Like, I think it doesn't have to be anything huge, right?
Ooh, that's an excellent question. So I celebrate myself in a couple different ways. One, massages. I'm obsessed with them. I try to do it once a quarter where I do a good little massage and also a full spa day just to pamper myself. One thing I plan every year for my birthday, I make a big deal about that. Just because for years I didn't. So it's me and some of my friends get together. Either we take a trip or we're here. Like this year, we did a staycation and then did a whole spa day. And it was just for us. It was just for us because I have some other friends that are in the industry. So for me, it's relaxation. It's having quiet time, just grounding and silencing all of the checklists that are in my head. For me, that's how I celebrate me, just being quiet.
Absolutely. I think when you're in the grind of small business, you're go, 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 go so much, you forget to every little step forward is a win. And I love it when people will say, if I get this, then I will buy myself that purse or those shoes or that vacation or whatever. So you have these big milestone things that you're trying to move towards. But I also love on the small wins. It's like, I'm going to go take myself to lunch today. I'm going to go get a massage. I'm going to go get my weird treat to myself. You're from Texas, so I think they have them up there as well in Dallas. I was from Houston, live in LA now, but we had McAllister's Deli right in front of my house. And so my really weird treat to myself was going to get one of their ginormous chocolate chip cookies. So they're so dangerous, but it was if I had, and it was a monthly thing or something, if something really good happened and I'm like, oh, I'm super proud of myself. I'm going to go get a cookie. It was the silliest thing, but it was just a moment that I could take to reflect back on that small achievement because it's 1,000 achievements that get you to success.
And I think as business owners, I agree with that 100%. And I think a large part of it is we're so forward facing. One of the reasons that we are great at being entrepreneurs is because once we reach a goal, that's not the end for us. We keep going. It's like, okay, well, I got to step one. I see step 7 over there. I got to keep pushing. We don't really stop at one. And that's super important. It's really like for mental health, just for the overall joy of life. Cause a lot of us, 10 years, I can't believe I've been in this that long. It's been about 12 now. But you look up and 10 years later and you're like, well, what did I do? I just worked. Celebrate, have a good time, have an ice cream cone, have a cookie. A friend of mine is an amazing baker. She makes these great peach cobbler. That's what I usually do with a little bit of ice cream. It's great.
You're right. You just have to celebrate. I love that we're having this conversation because I feel like it's something that, especially people just getting started out in business, they don't do, right? You have to get a few years in and then you start, okay, I should do this. So, going back, even if you're just starting, right? Just celebrate your wins, celebrate yourself. That's amazing. Let's talk a little bit about kind of over the last 10 years, how your business has transformed and grown. What has that journey been like? I mean, I always say that small business is a mountainous journey. You have the highest of highs and you have the lowest of lows. Are there any specific points in your business that was very low that you had to talk yourself through or very high? How did you get there? What were some good turning points in your business for you?
I'll start with the lows. One of them, a time that was really difficult for me was right after having our son, because as an entrepreneur, I'm thinking, all right, okay, I've had the baby, we're ready to go. I can mold him into the schedule that I already had. And I learned very quickly that that was a no go. I had to mold my schedule to a newborn and give myself grace and all of that. So mentally, at that time and that point in my career, it was very challenging because I had to stop and listen to my body. I had to be mindful of another human being that I'm keeping alive at this point, and we're getting to know each other and all of that. It was very hard because I could not go at the pace that I felt that I should be going to, which is a whole nother TED talk. That was one of the times. Obviously, for all of us, the pandemic was hard because for us, we are a 2 entrepreneur household. So that became very interesting. It was a mental exercise. During that time, we had to just stay focused on each other and having a good time. We were outside a lot, gardened, did yard work, played, just created things that we could do. And one of the other moments, this was the last one, 2 years ago, I had a health scare to where my blood pressure went really high and was dangerous, to the point where my doctor was like, you have to figure this out. And I realized that I was giving more to my business and not feeding into myself. So I had to step back, reprioritize, and make a health and wellness journey a part of my business, not in addition. It's now a arm of what I do.
Can we dive into that a little bit? Because I feel like, I mean, I do this. I mean, everybody knows, like, I just am a workaholic and I'm on this journey as well. Of course, I had cancer in 2021. So bouncing back from that, everything's fine. But bouncing back for that, it is that scare of going, oh man, I have not been feeding myself for years and years and years because of kids, business, whatever, whatnot. And it really does make you reprioritize your health and how does health fit in to business and how can you maintain both and have mental space for both? Can you shed light on that of how you're tackling that obstacle?
Sure. I made health and wellness a priority. What that looks like for me is exercising daily, 3 to 4 days a week. I am in the gym. That is my mental health time. That's how I'm able to give to my clients, to be the best person that I can be. That's my toolbox. So I schedule my appointments around it. I schedule my day around it. So I start the day off with that. And usually, drop off my son, get to the gym. And that's the time that I am able to make myself stronger to be able to service events. As a planner, I'm on site anywhere from, on the low end, 12 hours to sometimes 18 to 20 hours a day. And your body feels it. So just like a photographer would maintain his camera, just like a baker or caterer would maintain their instruments, my body is how I am able to provide the best service for my clients. That's how I maintain it. That's how I am able to be strong. That's how I'm able to have stamina. It allows me to recover from those events. Like my recovery now, usually I'd be in the bed for 24 hours after an event. Usually I'm able to move around and be able to do that. So I protect my mental space. I'm very intentional about the clients that I engage with and make a part of my story events family.
Okay, let me just pause you right there and just restate that for everybody in the back to hear.
I
Just
am
restate that.
I am
Take
very
it.
protective of my mental space and boundaries. I am.
And the clients you choose.
And the clients that I choose to bring on. And just as much, and I know in this climate, it's all financially, businesses aren't doing great and all the things. And that's true. But money is absolutely not everything. And I learned that the hard way, taking on clients that may not fit my personality, my work ethic, the things that make me able to give you the best that I can give you. And I'm fully transparent about that. I said, I have times where I'm working and I have times that I'm not. And when I'm working, I'm fully locked in on what I need to do. And when I'm not, I need you to respect that as much as I respect the times that you're not available for my calls. That's been a part of my onboarding conversation. And I'd say pretty much all the ones that are with me, they're like, that's great, right? We know you got to get it together and, be available for us. So I implore you, one of the things that I would say, if you're a new business, if you're starting out the entrepreneurial journey, prioritize health and wellness. If that's rest, exercise, walking, sitting outside, grounding yourself, whatever that looks like for you, prioritize things that feed your soul. Because we're creatives. We have to.
Something that has been impressed on me is the statement, this is a marathon, not a sprint. And so I keep that constantly over and over again. This is a marathon, not a sprint. This is a marathon, not a sprint, right? Like, yes, I want to do 5 more hours and stay up to 2 o'clock, but I got to get up and do it the next day and the next day and the next day and the next day. And I think a lot of times those first few years of business, we're just sprinting. And I'm not saying to not, right? We know that small business, there's a lot of grind, there's a lot of late nights, but I think you have to do a good understanding too of keeping it in balance, because this is why the statistics are high. People burn out. Burnout is the issue. The 1, 3, 5, 10-year closure rates is burnout.
Yeah, 100%. And it's real. It's very real. For me, every vendor has their yearly cycle of, I'm excited about my business, I'm burnt out about my business. For me, it's cyclical toward the end of the year, like the holidays for me. I'm kind of crazy at Christmas. It's awesome. I love it. So I get recharged during that time. So the last 3 weeks of the year, I am in full on Christmas mode. That's the time, unless I have events going on, that's when I feed myself. So it is important. It's a marathon, not a sprint. And the thing you have to keep in mind is you can plan things out. You can ask for help. You can automate. I know when you're first starting out, financially things aren't as great, but there are options for you to do things and be intentional and smart about doing things. So you don't have that. But for me, yeah, my recharge every year, my creative recharge is the holidays.
I love it. I'm the same. One of my mentors once told me, don't tell me your priorities, show me your calendar. And I thought, ooh, that one's good, because if it's a priority, if it truly is a priority, it's going to be in your calendar. And so when you had said originally that you have scheduled time to go work out and whatnot, it made me think about that one, because it's true. You could say you prioritize things all the time, but if those things are not designated in your calendar, he harps on a lot about entrepreneurs saying that their family is their priority, but there's no family time in their calendar. So how is it a priority if you can't even prioritize time for them? So that statement came to me when you were just talking, because it's so true. If you're going to truly prioritize them, they need to be in your calendar.
Absolutely. When I first started, the culture of this industry was the busier you are, the more profitable you are. If you're forever on your phone, if you're always in your emails and everything's just kind of has this air of chaos, that means you're a successful business person. We have to unlearn that. And that's really what it is. Budget, schedule time. You just like you tell your money where to go, you have to tell your time where to go.
It's so important. Gosh, I love this whole conversation because there's so many just great nuggets because I believe if you're listening to these 10-year interviews, you've heard me say this time and time again that your business only grows or your business grows in parallel to your growth as a business owner. So if you're not growing as a business owner, your business isn't going to grow. And so when people come to me all the time say my business isn't growing, my first question to them is, how have you grown?
100%. I like to read a lot. John Maxwell in the 21 Irrefutable Laws of Leadership talks about the law of the lid. And you can only go as high as your intelligence. Now, you do have a choice. Either you increase your intelligence about the subject and your knowledge, or you reach out to someone who has more of the experience and expertise and allow them to man the ship and continue to grow with your support in your direction. So yeah, that's very important. It's very important. If you want to grow, you have to invest in your education, what that looks like for you, just as much as you would invest in your clients or any other part of your business.
Let's dive into 17 Hats a little bit. How has 17 Hats helped you over the last 10 years? We have grown. I mean, we're a business too, right? So we've had our own growth and ups and downs in our journey, and we're still moving and grooving and loving every minute of it. What has it done for you? How has it helped you?
It absolutely changed my business as a young entrepreneur. When I first started, this was back in the day where I was sending like Word document invoices when I very first started. Because as a new entrepreneur, you don't know what you don't know. And I was introduced to 17 Hats, the invoicing, the portals, all of our forms, the contact forms that can be embedded into the website. It was a game changer for me. I went from what I affectionately call a lemonade stand vendor to a legitimate business owner. I was able to customize this. I was able to automate things, just being able to brand it. It actually changed my outlook on being an entrepreneur. I was like, now I'm real legit. Now I have a whole CRM. I can get in there and I can look at my clients and, oh yes, this is such and such. She filled out her thing. I know what to do. Let's go. And yes, it has been a game changer for me. I don't know what my business would look like if I hadn't been introduced to it at that time.
That's such an amazing testimonial. I appreciate you saying that. That's what we strive for every person, every member on the platform, right? I mean, we truly want to help and serve as many solo business owners or as possible. And I mean, that's our goal is exactly what you said. So I love that. I love that it seems like it gave you the confidence as well to move forward.
Yeah, it's something about that. I mean, you can create business cards and a website and have this forward facing scenario that looks amazing while we say like your back end is out and exposed, but the front looks great. This allowed me to tie up the back end and make that look just as beautiful and polished as the front facing. And that does give you confidence because you feel like you can walk in a room and say, well, okay, if you'd like to book here, I'm going to send you the booking link. You can go through the portal, all the things. And they're impressed. Oh, so you have it automated. Yeah, it does. It gives you an air of like, I've got my stuff together. I mean, the rest of the stuff may be a little bit of a dumpster fire sometimes, but I can get you onboarded and I can keep you organized in style.
I have one last question, which is a little random, but I think it's a question that so many vendors in the wedding industry would love for you to answer. All the time, we talk about networking. Find people that are up ladder to you, right? Up on the client journey and connect with them so that they refer you. Obviously, the planner, y'all have all the connections, right? Everybody wants to be on the planner list. Everybody wants to be on the venue list, right? Like, what is your advice to newbie people they want to get on that vendor list, they want to get on that planner list? What's your advice on how to tackle that?
People who know me locally know exactly what I'm going to say. So I cannot take credit for this initial thought. It was actually given to me by Kawania. She is an amazing planner that I had the opportunity to meet about 7, 8 years ago now. This is what I tell everyone: make friends. Networking is relationship. Networking is not transactional. And the best networking connections happen as a result of a relationship, and it will be beneficial to you to make sure that you are focusing on that as opposed to what just getting a bunch of referrals. And I say that just to break it down just a little bit more because I know our time is going. When you are new and you are coming into the industry, what I tell anyone is get out and be your own outside salesperson. Wherever you are, go to Google. If you don't know, go within a 5 mile radius and then spread out 5, 10, 15. Create a list of venues and vendors that are in your local space. Take money that you would take a little bit of money, put together maybe a gift, if it's a bottle of wine, if it's a box of cookies, if it's something, and go and shake hands and meet people. Go to the venues, go and say, hey, my name is such and such. I'm starting a new business. I'm a photographer. I'm a planner. I would love to get to know your space. I would love to meet you, and be consistent with it. Create a spreadsheet, notate, check in with them monthly. Hey, if it's just an email, hey, I thought about you, da 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 da. Make notes about that. That will build your network faster than anything else. I've done it. There are relationships that I started 10 years ago of vendors that I still talk to, that I've still receive referrals from. And not everybody will fit that mold, and that's okay. But at least it'll get you in a good place and it'll get you started.
It's so important. I have seen people actually set up 17 Hats workflows on this to where they like have an initial email and they choose like one vendor a month or one vendor every several weeks. They have an initial email that will just go out, and it just takes them through even follow-ups and whatever, whatnot, to just keep that relationship going, because it's all about relationships these days.
Absolutely. That is how my network was created. I have an organization right now. We have a little over 100 members, but that started from me just going out and meeting people. The connections that I have within my business now comes from that, just organically being interested in people.
One of my very first mentors from a long, long time ago told me, no one knows you exist if you only sit behind your desk. And so I wrote it on a sheet of paper and I put it on my wall so that every time I was at my desk, I could read it and be like, oh, I shouldn't be here. I should be out. And I think to kind of take it back to 17 Hats, I mean, that's why 17 Hats was created. And so you don't have to be behind your desk, and that you can be out networking and doing all of that stuff. Let the automation take care of all the stuff you need to be at your desk for.
One thing for those who have anxiety, we all have levels of anxiety or fear about it. We're all scared. It's not fun. I mean, sometimes we get nervous all the time. So just know, even if you're thinking, oh my gosh, they'll think I'm weird, it's cool. Go out there. You never know. We're all weird.
You're going to get used to it too. You get used to it. You get ready for it. Well, oh my gosh, this conversation has been super amazing. I got to start my season 2 for podcast. So I want to get you back on the podcast so we can talk about this a little bit more, because I think it's going to be so valuable for people to hear. So Reytheda, thank you so much for being here with me. Last question. If they want to learn a little bit more about you, where can they go?
They can go to Instagram. I am Story Events. It's spelled a little bit differently. STOHREE events with an S. I am Story Events on all platforms: Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, TikTok, all the things. Also, my company is Story Events, spelled the same way. You can Google me and I am there.
Amazing. Well, thank you so much for sharing so much and giving so much information and this interview. We appreciate you. Cheers to 10 years to you. Congratulations on your success. For everybody else who is watching, thanks for joining us on another interview. We look forward to chatting with you again.